All right, it's Tuesday and I'm back. Welcome back, fall football season. Past Labor Day here. We like to call this the fall market. Comes up on us quick. Contracts being written right now are closing in October, sometimes with occupancy given in November. That makes you feel like everything's coming to an end here in the summer, but some important changes in the market. And again, this is going to be a longer video. The algorithm doesn't like this, but these things are complicated. And I will give you a short synopsis here of what's taken place in the real estate market in the last month. But truly, you should contact your local representation, experienced realtor, knowledgeable realtor to understand how these changes will impact you as a buyer and also as a seller. So on August 17th, the Department of Justice and the National Association of Realtors came upon an agreement of how NAR was supposed to move forward with business. And what came a part of this was that all buyers need to have a signed documentation of their buyer's agent and their buyer to understand how compensation would take place. Now, it's just a more knowledgeable way or providing more awareness to the buyer of how your buyer's agent is going to get paid. And some sellers may offer less of a commission because of a business model, and other sellers may offer a greater amount of commission to a buyer. And what happens in that situation is that it used to be advertised on the multiple listing service to all agents to understand what was going to take place on that particular listing, and now we don't have that. We've either got to call the listing agent and the listing agent is going to tell us what the seller is offering, or they're not going to be offering anything. And then you as the buyer will have to understand if you've got representation, how they're going to get paid. And what this document says is how everything's going to work in the transaction and how your buyer's agent representation will get compensated. So whatever that compensation might be, just understand that that document has to be signed prior to showings. And that makes it a little harder for some of our buyers who search on Zillow and they see their dream home populate and an email notification gets sent to them, and now they need to see that home immediately. Well, if you don't have a contract in place, that will slow you down from getting to that home. So time is always your leverage as a buyer and sometimes as a seller, most times both. So if you don't have that contract signed, you're going to get to the home slower. So it's not that you must have that document signed to start searching for homes. It's just that that document's got to be signed to go into homes. So if we would encourage you that if you are even searching Zillow whatsoever, take a look at a buyer's agency contract to understand what is going to be in that contract in case you do need to go see a home. Maybe you already come to terms with a buyer's agent on that, even though it's not signed, but you understand what the terms would look like if your favorite home came available. Because if it comes available and you don't have any idea of how the buyer's agency is going to work for you if you're selecting representation on a home, you're in a tough position to get into that home quickly. So if you are searching on Zillow or any website at night to see homes, you should be doing that, as well as having a pre-approval ready with a lender and understanding what the current market rates are and what the volatility looks like for the next month. There could be. So understand a few principles of the new NAR settlement as a buyer. One, you got to have a buyer's agency contract signed, and there has to be some specific compensation agreement in there unless your buyer's agent is working for free. So also, the buyer's agent may not be able to attain the listing compensation towards a buyer's, the optional listing commission towards a buyer's, or a flat fee, whatever it might be. Any sort of compensation from the listing agent might not be as easily accessible as it used to be when it was publicized on the MLS. So be aware that that can happen too. Either way, if you're in the market, you got to talk to an experienced buyer's agent. So a Tuesday, a long video here. If you've made it to the end, congrats. Thank you so much for being a knowledgeable buyer and learning the many facets of the real estate industry right now. And we look forward to representing you and finding that dream home of yours. So thanks. Have a great Tuesday. And we'll talk to you soon.